All right, so new year, new filming location. This is just for these types of videos. I'm doing like a quick comic review. I'm not gonna bother because I'm bringing a chair up here, and it's all the way to the basement to up here, and it has a lot to lug. It's more just also kind of convenient because it's in the way. My room is already small enough, and putting one little chair adds a lot more than you would think it would. Also, one downside is I'm filming at like 3:10 like I am now, and it's daylight savings time. You're losing daylight, and thus it's not as bright as it should be. Yeah, I probably should have done this earlier, but I had stuff going on earlier. Alright, so this is all the books I'll be reading this month. As always, subject to change. There's already one book I was reading last month that I will not be able to finish because it's such a huge book. I should have really just made an effort and been like, no matter what else I'm reading, I have to add in Lucifer. It's the Lucifer omnibus. It's an omnibus too. I just realized that it's only 35 plus issues, but I can do that just fine, and not really, because you don't factor in what it can be a reading later that month. I should have done that. And I should have at most taken a week off for whatever reason. It was like several weeks. Because I just thought I'd have it forever. I mean, it's easier like with X-Force Omnibus. At least I own that, so I can put that to the side for now and then read the other ones. I just added too much last month, as you'll see when I go over my all the image books I read last month and October video. But let's get right into it. First up is, and it's my copy this time, of Redlands Volumes 1 and 2 by Jordie Bellaire. And this was a series that I really, really liked, but couldn't really make heads or tails of it either. It's one of those books that just it was something they don't give you answers. It's more the fact that they don't give you enough answers, and at the end they do. But then also I was thinking like maybe I just missed some details. That's why I'm going back. It's more like I know that there are books like this. They don't tell you everything that's going on for a reason, and as you read it, you understand more and more. But it's always I just felt like there were certain details that were told to me, and I was like, I don't remember that detail, and that was told to me, and one of those things. But I really enjoyed it. So it's one I'm going back to that I am definitely not hesitant at all to go back to. Almost read it last month. So Redlands. Put that up there because that's where it belongs. So it's gonna go after. And the one thing about filming here is I thought I'd have to, because there's books on the floor, and I'd have to, move the chair out of the way, and then grab the books, and then move the chair back, put the books on my lap, and then, no, I'm not doing any of that, thankfully. The next is a 6-volume series. That is Rumble. And when I do these, I'm showing off all the books I'll be reading for the month. I do like to show all the volumes of the series. So if it's 7 volumes, I'll have all 7 volumes shown off at the beginning of the month. If it's 6, I'll do that. The next one after this, the following one. So the next one after that is 7 volumes. It's 43 issues. And obviously I'm not reading all 43 issues in 1 month. So it's going to overlap to next month. And I did that with Black Science for the last 2 months of the year, so I want to do that with this series we'll soon be seeing. This one's only 32. If I did the math right. So I only have to read it twice on the last day. But Rumble is by John Arcudi, who is most well known for working with Mike Mignola on the Hellboy universe books, and also BPRD, which is Hellboy universe. I think there's another thing he's written for Dark Horse. I just can't remember. I know he did DC, of all the books, that DC anthology. Solo. That was pretty good, but it's so damn long, and it's because it's an anthology and because it's so long, every story that's not as good as the last one stands out all the more. So the rereadability factor on Solo, DC Solo, is very low for me. I did like some of the stories, though. It definitely is worth the time, and I think it should get a reprint. I might even think the hardcover's oversized. My voice really cracked there. I think it is, actually. I don't know. Anyways, I was show all the covers for all the volumes. I guess the Comicaholic, though, this is not. Volume 2, Volume 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is infamously out of print, I might add. But this one, I picked up it's just one of those books I wanted to read for the longest time. A lot of why I didn't do it last month was because why didn't I do it last month? Oh, because of the next one. So there's the artist here is, I don't usually go over what the artist is where I'm showing off the books of what I'll be reading. Comic Halls, obviously. Comic Halls is complete, I'll say. Rumble Volume 1, What Color Darkness, written by John Arcudi, with artwork done by James Harren, colors by Dave Stewart, and I'll show the interior artwork, and then I'll go over how many issues each volume collects. But when I'm going over what I'll be reading for the rest of the month, or for the month, I just say, this is a book, how many volumes there are, who the writer is, and if I've read it before, how I felt about it originally. If I haven't, I guess why I picked it. But it's usually pretty quick. But Rumble the artist for Rumble is James Harren, and the next series is written by James Harren. If you know your Image books, you know exactly what the next book's going to be. But that was the reason why, because the next one is very long. The first issue is not for Rumble, the next series is 66 pages. No, it's 66. It's like 66 pages, and it's a lot of book. And I just didn't think I'd be able to get through it in the time I had last month. That's why I held off on Rumble. But Rumble, all 6 volumes. Put volume 1 up there. And John Arcudi is also one of those writers that he's always teamed up with Mike Mignola. Oh crap, it's 10% left. Ah, shoot. I don't know why I didn't check it before I filmed. It's probably gonna die on me. Alright. That's fine. We'll try and beat the clock. Ultra Mega Volumes 1 and 2, written by James Harren. This is a series I said before, but it's related to Rumble. This is one I've been told to get on by a whole bunch of people. It's like one of those Image books that everyone was reading, and it was a huge hit. I think the only reason why it's not as huge is because it went on such a long hiatus. And it kills the book more than you think it would. Yeah, written and drawn by James Harren. Dave Stewart does the colors too, so pretty much the same creative team as did Rumble. So that's why I was like, well, those two are very similar. They're very, what's the word? Connected. And then the next series was that 43 issue series, and that is Thief of Thieves. I don't know if I should grab that. I'm gonna go grab that. So I'm gonna unplug something right now. So I need to get that plugged in. So some dead air while I fish around for this stupid thing. Can that reach over that far? I can't. Alright. Come on, thing. Come on. Out of the way. And unplug that. It's the easiest thing to unplug. And I hope that charger still works. That's a big plug though. Is that gonna be able to fit in here? Oh, I'll just do this. Just for now. It'll be fine. No worries. And of course, I just get this done. Just wants to die on me. Just got some dead air there. I don't know if this is gonna work. It doesn't tell me it's plugged in, charging. Okay, go in the thing. Hope it's charging. Alright. Crisis averted. Although I don't know. Alright, so anyways, Thief of Thieves, I'll show all the covers. Oh, I didn't get Peter Panzerfaust out of the... So forgetful. Alright, grab these books. And then I'll get them out of the shelf. It's all Peter Panzerfaust. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not. That's it. Probably should just refilm, shouldn't I? The reason why I do that, and it's actually honestly I was trying to explain that in an earlier video, so it's a good thing we did that. So I'm kind of glad that this is out of order. So I was trying to explain how I don't like the books that are like I'm OCD, so I'm taking books out of there. I put books in its place, so nothing leans over like that. So you know what? I was trying to explain that. Where's volume 2? Oh, right there. I never bought Volume 2. That is a mistake I would make. Especially when it's like 14,000 volumes. It's really hard to be like... So that's what I had to do on Amazon. Like for Last Man, I had to make sure I had to go in order. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I did that several times to make sure I was right. Okay. Volume 7, 6, and 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. And hopefully the iPad is charging. I always say saying iPad, so I always say tablet. Saying iPad just makes you immediately sound like you're an iPad kid, even if you're not. Like the fact that I didn't even know that what percent it was that, because of how infrequently I use it, I think says a lot. All right, so we'll go in order with the volumes of Thief of Thieves. Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. I can hear it now. And I'm not gonna explain what I mean by that. I'm gonna see if you guys caught what I was saying when I was going through the numbered volumes. It's the only hint I'll give. But anyways, Thief of Thieves was that series that I swear Wolf Den had recommended, because I remember him saying he showed the cover to volume to issue 1. No, on the covers here, do they don't. But the cover to issue 1, and he said, "Oh, my wife really likes this series, and I do too." And blah, blah. I think it was like his wife had recommended it to him, and I swear it was him. But I reached out to him on Twitter like ages ago when I first bought the series, and he said no, that wasn't him. So, and I was scouring the internet trying to find that, and never could find it. Maybe it was because a lot of these comic book YouTubers kind of meshed together for me, not in a bad way. Like they're similar in their content, like how Comic Pop is similar to Atop the Fourth Wall, where they go more in depth with their comic reviews. But Wolf Den and Comic Drake are similar because they both talk about like the controversies behind comics, and it's more editorial. Whereas Comic Pop and Linkara are more reviewing comics. And so I think it was Comic Drake that talked about it. No, he's not. I don't know. No idea. I wish that he doesn't have a wife. He does have a wife, I'm pretty sure. The longest time I thought the guy was gay. He just gave off that vibe. He's SJW, so, you know, all you right-wing YouTubers can make that joke. But anyways, 7 volumes of Thief of Thieves, 43 issues. The reason why I did that was because I was like, hey, Black Science is also 43 issues. So let's read Thief of Thieves to start, because that was to end the year. And to start the year, I was like, hey, do Thief of Thieves, and read it 1 per day, like you did for Black Science. That was what I did. But if only this were 9 volumes, so it would be complete full circle, but it's not. Because some of them weren't 4 issues for a volume. Like Black Science was. 2 of them were. But yeah, not a lot to say about Thief of Thieves. I did read the first issue way back when, because that was when I was really budgeting my comics. And I was like, do I really want to pay? Because I was also buying all 7 volumes at once. And I was like, I really want to commit to this. And I read issue 1, and past me really, really liked it. So maybe I'll actually like the series. There's no real reason why it takes me forever to read certain series. Because you've seen how many Image books I've read per month. I have like a document that I have all of them written down. And for December, especially, I was forgetting some. I was like, oh, yeah, write that one down. Oh, yeah, write that one down. And it ended up being like, according to ChatGPT, and that was before I added more, it was like a 90 plus series. And it's not including ones I've reread either. So 90 plus. So from this shelf you see behind you, and then there's a shelf right next to me. And of course, it's in all the rows of shelves. I've been picking from each row. And I've been adding it to it. I've been adding it to my to read pile. That's why that Lucifer took me so long, because I kept adding books for my PC to read. So those of you who say I do not read my personal collection need to eat those words right now. But anyways, let me put these books. Well, Thief of Thieves I can put back, if anything. So yeah, Thief of Thieves. Yeah, it was so weird. And I don't know who had said it originally. If any of you guys know who it is, sound off in the comments. They're gonna recommend me someone I've never watched. I'm like, nope, that's not it. But then it is. There are literally, there's Come on, brain. My brain just does not like to work sometimes. There are literally videos on YouTube that said I've watched them, and like, I don't even remember watching them. There will be comments that I've liked that I don't remember hitting like on, and this only happened once, but there was a comment that I saw that was like, oh, that's really clever, and I hate to pat my own back, but it was a comment that I made, and it was weird. It's like, I didn't think I was that funny. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was like, oh, I never noticed that. I noticed that too. And it was like, oh, I made that comment. I don't think it was funny. I think it was more just an observation. I don't remember what it was specifically. But yeah, I don't remember what it was but YouTube recommended it. Because it had to have been somebody, because how else would I know about the series? I was joking, I was wondering, because I was going over this in my head, because sometimes I'll go over a script in my head, which is a great thing to do and not write it down. That's a great idea. I think more people should do that, is do it in your head and just assume you'll remember it before the next day comes, because that definitely works. That's how our brains work, is that we remember things word for word from when we say them right to when the next day, and sometimes the next week. But anyways, as I was saying, I was thinking to myself, like, what if it was, like, subconsciously? Like, I had a dream about it, and before I even knew it was a series, so not before I was going to buy it, and then that's what happened. I think that's what happened. I don't know. But anyways, back onto the video. As I said before, one of them was Peter Panzerfaust. This was a series I started and never got to finish. The library had only the first volume. They said they're going to have... It looked like they had all 5 volumes, but when they put in volume 3 actually. Volume 3, they said, no, we don't have it. So I only got to read the first 2 volumes. So yeah, it was volume 1 and volume 2. It was so long ago, I don't remember all the details. But this is written by Curtis J. Weeb. Oh! Okay, I'm going way too fast. Thief of Thieves is written by various writers. So going back to Thief of Thieves. We started off the series by it being written by Nick Spencer for volume 1. And then it's... afterwards, I think it's James Asmus. Yes. And then I know it's Andy Diggle after. And then it finishes off with Brett Lewis. So that was an interesting little tidbit. And I don't know why they did that. I don't know why, because the Image is creator owned. So you would think, oh, the creator stays on for the whole series. And that's not the case there. Technically, it should be Robert Kirkman if you're going over. If you're saying, oh, the creator should write his own stuff. Because that's how it says. That's who it's credited as the creator, right? To know if his name was on it. Story. So, technically speaking, yes. Right, but now going back to Peter Panzerfaust. So again, library had first 2 volumes, but then after volume 2, they said, you don't have it, we can't interloan it for you. It's interloans. When I say library had it, it's usually interloans. So I'll be finally able to finish the series. Volume 1. Yeah, all written by Curtis J. Weeb. No 2-author or co-authored or halfway through it's a different author kind of deal. No, it's just all Curtis J. Weeb. Double check to make sure I'm right. I believe this series is technically still going because there was controversy behind the hardcovers not coming out with volume 2. I think the reason for why that was because it was still going, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so it's Curtis J. Weeb all the way through. Gotta kind of hurry up because this is going for 20 minutes now. Alright. Aerosmith. So usually there's a reason for why I get the library copy and I own it myself. And this is especially the case here because this is the soft cover and this is the hardcover and it's oversized. So it's like, might as well get it. And I just want to see, and apparently the hardcover has more pages, so I wanted to see why that was. But this is written by Kurt Busiek, who I have very mixed feelings on. Mostly negative. I don't like his writing style. But I do give his work a chance. It's the... kind of like Tom King, I guess you could say in a way. Where Tom King is another writer I'm just like not too crazy about. But more so with Kurt Busiek. Like Kurt Busiek is definitely like twice a Tom King for me. Like I definitely like more Tom King books than I do for Kurt Busiek books. And here is volume 2. But the volume 2 is only available in softcover. And I decided if I'm getting volume 1, might as well get volume 2. You know, from the library at my house where I would keep a book myself. Sometimes it's also just I want to keep my copy in pristine condition. But no, it's not. That's not the reason. It's also it's usually just because it's novelty. For those of you who don't know, a lot of the Image books I own are because I liked it so much when I read it from the library and I bought it myself. I did that with Wayward, which that's the poster behind me. It's from the comic series Wayward, if you wanted to know that. So it obviously does pay off. Put that one back too. And that's going to go to the other side. No, I should put that there. So that one I have not read before. But one Kurt Busiek read I have read. One Kurt... God damn it. My brain just wants to make me fail. Kurt Busiek. I mean, it's Kurt Curtis. That's probably why I keep getting names confused. But the Kurt Busiek book... Well, it's up there again. The other Kurt Busiek book that I have for this month, one I have read before, unlike Aerosmith, is Autumn Lands. I did the same thing here. It's like, you know what I did with Aerosmith, might as well do it with Autumn Lands too. Ironic that they both have this on the spine, like a sticker. One the library sticker, and then one's the Thrift Books sticker. I like Thrift Books enough. I think they're the better version of half-price books. The one thing that really pisses me off about Thrift Books, they just insist on having the sticker there. And it's kind of ugly. I think it's because it's the way that their store is. It's a store, also, it's a store and an online retailer, so I guess they just do it that way. I don't know. But then, Volume 2. So, Autumn Lands, I liked enough. I read it the first time, hated it. Read it the second time, liked it a little bit more. But it's never, ever going to be that series that at least, time will tell. It might change, but based off my last reading of it, I liked it enough. But it was never that series I was super crazy about. And I wasn't super disappointed to find out that it's on indefinite hiatus. I think it was actually canceled. I don't think it was ever like oh yeah, it might come back if you wish hard enough. I think it was just I don't care about the series enough. This is Curtis. This is Kurt Busiek. His words, not mine. And I'm not even sure about that, but I think he just didn't. He had such other projects. I think he was passionate about Autumn Lands, though. To be fair, it's not any worse or better than his, except for Marvels, of course. Marvels is even I like Marvels, but it wasn't any worse or better than anything else I've read by him. So it's not like, you know, he wasn't passionate about it. I'm thinking of jab at that. Like, no, it's like Heroes in Crisis for Tom King. Obviously, I make that joke because that's, you know, but Kurt Busiek, because that's completely different there. All right, Death or Glory, Rick Remender. Bengal is the artist. I figured, hey, if all the books they teamed up on with Image Comics, I might as well reread Death or Glory. And also, I wanted to reread Death or Glory a while ago, but I kept putting it off. I kept putting it off. But I really did like this series. And also it's super oversized, so makes the artwork that much better. But Death or Glory. I feel like there's something I want to say about it, but I can't remember what it was. Oh well. Yeah, I feel like there's something else I want to say about it. I've read it several times. What was it, like 3 times? I've read it before. Damn. But now on to... Did I grab the... Okay, so I guess we're finishing off with the OGNs. Usually we don't do that. And we're really pushing the time. Alright. These Savage Shores, written by Ram V. Cannot wait to reread this one. This was one of the Ram V books I actually liked. I'm very split on Ram V. But I think it's one of those writers that he just writes in a style I don't like. Kurt Busiek is a lot like that. Kurt Busiek, I feel like, writes in more of a, like, heavy dialogue and just like that heavy narration kind of thing. Just a lot of words on page, and it's kind of like when you don't like using three words, you only need one kind of thing. And also, and I hate to be this way about it, that's my opinion. I feel like he writes really dry too. He's got kind of that dry humor, dry dialogue, kind of like what you expect from like a fantasy comic. That's how he writes the dialogue. That's my main complaint for Autumnlands. When I first read it, though, this time around, time will tell when I finally do review it if I had a complete turnaround or not. And last time I did like it, so, but it's kind of in retrospect, thinking way back when I read it. It's been a while too. But These Savage Shores, cannot wait to reread that. The Marvels is not a reread, and one of those series that the library just does not have volume 2 of. They have volume 1, but not volume 2. I own volume 2. I actually own the entire series. But this was more of an incentive to get me to finally read some Kindle books. Because I've had a lot of Kindle books on my Kindle and the app on my phone or tablet, and forever. And I've gone entire months without reading a Kindle book. The last one I only read because it was a prelude to a book I was reading before. The book I was reading after. So I had to read that, and then I had to read this. It was hardcore. It was like the pilot season one shot. I felt the need to read that beforehand, and then I read hardcore. Even though you don't really need to do that. Anyways, The Marvels. Oh, this would make Kurt Busiek. So, hey, another Kurt Busiek book, I just realized. That was not planned, by the way. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by Kyle Higgins. This is going to start off as a reread. I don't remember where I left off on. I think it might have been what the library had at the time. The Lending Library, anyways. If it weren't for interloan libraries, I would not have half. First of all, I would not have half of these books that you see here, and I'd also have not read so many books. Just like countless books that I never have checked out. And that library has a very, very small graphic novel section. Not like minuscule small, not like insultingly small, just kind of small. Like it's a lot of. If I read every single graphic novel they had from start to finish, it probably would take me about a few months. But it's just compared to other libraries, and the way I was reading back in the day, honestly, I would say 1 month. Anyways, Nighthawk. This is written by David F. Walker. This is a reread. It's one I just enjoy reading. No, it wasn't like I hated it when I reread to redeem. That's what These Savage Shores started as. It was a reread to redeem, and there's a reason why I do that. And These Savage Shores is a great example. But Nighthawk, it's a reread because I really liked it. Wonder Woman War Torn, absolutely a reread because I really liked it. I'd consider Meredith Finch's run on Wonder Woman to be a good enough follow-up to Brian Azzarello's run, but Brian Azzarello's run is untouchable, so it's kind of an unfair comparison. Clean Room Volume 1. I took a long break when I first read the series, between Volume 1 and Volume 2. Plus, I forgot a lot of details, so I'm going to try my best to make this once I'm done reading this, I go right on to Volume 2. And I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to take that, because I have some open slots on my account, my library, just take one of those open slots and then just do Volume 2, maybe even Volume 3, just to read them all back to back to back. But this was a great series by Gail Simone. Absolutely loved it. Cannot wait to reread it. The Names by Peter Milligan. Peter Milligan, he wrote this and Greek Street, and both of them were just completely crazy comics that I had no idea what I was going into, and I was pleasantly surprised and maybe a bit confused and maybe a bit concerned for Peter Milligan's sanity, or his mindset, his brain, because there's a lot of stuff in here that's like, okay. And I think there's also something in Greek Street too. There's one big, without getting to spoilers. There's it's the definition of that meme that this blank has only happened twice. If I had a nickel for every time blank happened, I'd only have 2 nickels, which isn't much, but it's weird that it happened twice. That's exactly the case for Peter Milligan when talking about Greek Street and the names. Completely unrelated story-wise, but that one detail. I believe that's what happened from in retrospect, and honestly, it's one of those things that you can't say, "Oh, I was thinking about this, I was thinking about this," and you can't get that confused with anything else. Abbott, 1973, by Saladin Ahmed, often considered by me to be better than the first. Will that be the case here? Time will tell. I like the first, so obviously this is a reread because I really liked it. Domino. This is also written by Gail Simone. I don't know why I ever. So the longest time I would not check out a series if it was incomplete, because I think there's several volumes of X-Men Domino by Gail Simone. I know there was at least 2 because there's one that I had read. So they did 2 number 1s, and Hot Shots was one that I read. This was not Hot Shots, so. But I like Gail Simone's writing. I never don't really know a whole lot about Domino, so I'm not hesitant to read it because I didn't get assassinate the character of Domino. I don't know a whole lot about Domino as a character. In fact, I keep forgetting she was even in the second Deadpool movie. Avengers by Jason Aaron, Volume 1. This is definitely not the one I'll be able to finish. I only have the first 2. Be nice if they had however many volumes of Avengers by Jason Aaron there is. I think there's also a crossover, so I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And it probably won't matter at the end of the day because this is a reread to redeem, and I don't like it that much the second time around. I won't tell though. And then continuing on, Why the Last Man. I showed this off before, so I'm gonna be very quick about it and just move on. It was a reread, obviously. Why the Last Man is in my top 10, so obviously you know what criteria that falls under. I'll go over them again. It's reread because I liked it so much. I call it reread. I used to call it every 6 months. That's because on average, I'll reread those books every 6 months. Why the Last Man, definitely closer to 6 months than anything else. And then something like Wonder Woman. That's not an example. Something like These Savage Shores, I'll reread every 3 months. Another reread because I like it so damn much is Scalped. This was my top 5, and I immediately, when I finished it, wanted to reread again, so here we are. Now on to the OGNs. So the OGNs are ones that, they're all in one setting. They don't go by. Some of them do have chapters in them, but it's not like Pride of Baghdad. This wasn't Pride of Baghdad 1 through 5 collected in this trade paperback. It's all one. So Pride of Baghdad, Brian K. Vaughan. I've shown these all. I think I've actually shown these all before, except for a couple. So I'm gonna be very quick about it. Just show them off. Because I was supposed to for these last month, but I didn't. Glitch, Flash Gordon by Marguerite Bennett. This is Glitch, written by Sarah Grayley. I know I talked about that one. Actually, I know we talked about both. Because one of them I know I didn't talk about. Oh, you can grab my copy of this. This one I know I did not show off, so we'll talk about it a little more in detail. Because if I just show them off, it's kind of like why regurgitate the same information. And yeah, I know everyone's video is their first video, so I always should, but it's also one of those. If there was something that I felt the need to mention, I would. Spectators by Brian K. Vaughan. Again, a novelty. Why I'm doing this? I only have a library copy, but this is also drawn by Nico Hendrickson, here's his name, who also did Pride of Baghdad. So same exact creative team that did Pride of Baghdad does Spectators, and I really liked Pride of Baghdad. One thing I didn't mention this before, because it was a one detail I feel like I should have mentioned, no matter how many times I'm showing it off, is that I really dug Pride of Baghdad, and I consider it to be probably my second favorite Brian K. Vaughan story. Also, that shelf right here is way too tight, because now I can't fit the books. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a rung right here, and it goes down, and it makes it impossible to put books. I want to put one book on one side and one book on the other, and it's slanted like this a little bit, and I hate that, but it's better than having it the way I have it down there. Although even that, I actually think that's better if any of them. Because I'm not, like, shoving it. Anyways, moving on. I don't got my copy. I don't know why I didn't remember to do this. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't do all the Image books together, but oh well. If I do a second cut, I can do that then, but I'm not going to do a second cut. That's kind of unnecessary, in my opinion. Where is it? What if I never got it? Get it? Gracie's Ghost is impossible to find. It's like invisible. Here it is. This is a small book. I was hidden. This is written by Dawn Brown, and I do not have everything Dawn Brown did for Image Comics. I found out the hard way that she did more than just Gracie's Ghost. She did this series. Which, you can find Volume 1 just fine, pretty easily. But then there's 3 additional issues that are kind of expensive, because they are floppies, single issues, and if it's not at a comic shop, you're hard-pressed to find it at an agreeable price. And by agreeable price, I mean, why am I paying $30 for 3 issues of a series that's short? If it's thicker than your average comic book, it's like 50 pages, I think. I don't think it actually even is that. So, I don't know what I'm talking about. But you think if it's 3 issues, it'd be, you know, each issue is twice the length of your average comic book. Zatanna and the Ripper. Some of these I just put in just off a whim, and that was one of them. The Walking Man, again, one of the commenters on Near Mint Condition live stream had talked about the series, and I decided, hey, if the library has it, or if the library has it, I'll check it out. They did. So here we are. And 2 more. Will Eisner, a comics biography. I should not choose one off yet. This one is not written by anyone who did anything for Image. So usually what I would do is I would have it like, it's either all Image Comics writers, like Brian K. Vaughan, Ed Brubaker, Nick Spencer, Chuck Brown, David F. Walker, Andy Diggle, and so on and so forth. But then I have another set of books, and it'd be everything else. So Tom Taylor, who's done nothing for Image, the Steven Wiener guy, that kind of thing. But you know, I had this book came in when it came in, so I'm not gonna hold off on it because I want to wait until this is the Will Eisner story. So sounds interesting. Check it out. Again, off a whim. And finally, Tongues. It's another thick OGN. So this one does go by chapter. This one and the Will Eisner book do go by chapter. So instead of reading it all in one sitting, like I have to do for like Gracie's Ghost will be easy to do, but Spectators will be a little bit harder. But these ones do go by chapter, so I'll read it by chapter. But it's like 15 chapters, and each chapter is very short, so I'll probably be doing 2 a day. I don't know why I'm over-explaining. Let's just end the video.